to Durham, North Carolina, Cameron Indoor Stadium, the setting as we get ready for 197 pounds alongside four-time ACC champion Trent Hidley, Sean Kinney with you. Our fantastic ACC network crew as we see the slow, methodical entrance from Nick Stemmet, the number 2 seed, 20-8 this year. He's won 10 straight, and now he will try to figure out the top seed, Max Stout, 22-2. What a season it has been for Stout.
You mentioned Stemmet, 10 wins coming in a row. He's really found his recipe for success the second half of the season. Max Stout has been consistent all year. He's been lights out. He looked great this morning. This is going to be an excellent matchup of two guys that are peaking at the right time.
Second meeting this season between the two at 197. Stout won by major decision earlier this year in the duel, 10-1. Look at Max Stout, his body of work this year. You have to go back to November 24th, the last time he tasted defeat. That was in the Lehigh duel to Michael Beer. NCAA qualifier who advanced to the round of 16 last year in his first championship experience. He went 2-2, lost to John Posnowski in sudden victory, and then to Rocky Elam 6-2. But he's a different wrestler this year.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's wrestling with a lot more confidence. He had his experience last year for the first time in the lineup, and now he's running with that and has totally elevated his game.
Stemmet, a wrestler of the 5th year, tons of experience, 3-time NCAA qualifier, 18 seed a year ago. He went 1-2 in 2023, and then in his championship debut back in 21. He missed out on the NCAAs in 22, and that was despite hosting 20-plus wins. Did not get one of the at-large berths that year after taking 4th in the Pac-12.
Yeah, when you talk to the Stanford coaches, they're really in awe of Nick Stemmet's athletic ability. That's one of the first things that comes up when you hear about him. You see some of this athletic ability, hopping on one leg, defending the single. Stout, good job, looking to finish, goes and drags a feet. Great takedown by Stout. Had the foot up in the air, looked to run the pipe, and then cut across and got the other ankle for the takedown right on the edge of the mat. Good answer by Stout here early. Take a look at this. See, he went to go to the head to put him down, missed it. Stemmet all of a sudden feeling that. He goes back down low. Great finish by Stout.
Mentioned Stemmet's athleticism. Back in the day when it looked like Stanford might lose their wrestling program, a lot of people around the wrestling team thought he might walk on to the Cardinal football team. He is that strong, that athletic.
Started to see that a little more lately with some heavyweights trying to put their hand in the football scene. It goes to show how good of athletes some of these guys are, not just in the wrestling sense, but their speed, their agility, and their strength.
Stand up. Let's see if Stout can bring him back.
Stout's got an opportunity for a tilt here. He's got the wrist. He's looking to go inside of Stemmet's thigh. He's not going to get it. Actually gets hit with stalling. Needs a mat return quick. There he goes. Drops down the leg and gets a mat return. It's not a bad stall call there if you're Stout. He had a wrist. He was really close to maybe getting that turn. Stemmet just did a good job of standing up. He'll take that stall call if you're the Pitt coaches.
Good look at Keith Gavin in the Pitt corner, coming back to his alma mater back in 2017. Gavin won a national championship wearing the Pitt singlet back in 2008. Won the title at 174. And Stout with the mat return off the edge they go.
Yeah, and you talked about Coach Gavin. Kind of a staple of the Pitt program is guys coming in a little bit under the radar and reaching the pinnacle of success. Keith Gavin wasn't a state champion in high school, went on to win a national title. Same thing that Nino Bonacorski did a couple years ago. Never was a state champ in high school, won an NCAA title at 197 pounds. It just talks a lot about the way their program's able to develop and nurture some of the talent that they get.
Hey, you look at Gavin's years. They had that historic run in 2021 where they placed 11th. That was the best finish for Pitt since all the way back in 1970. They had 2 finalists that year with Jake Winsel and you mentioned Bonacorsi. 3-1 here. Stemmet able to get out. 40 seconds to go in this opening period.
I've seen Stemmet really develop this season is an underhook with his right side. He looks to go elbow pop to an underhook, a technique that I always really love, and he goes right to a blast double. You see Stout really quick in on that ankle, looking to get a takedown at the end of the period, and he does. 10 seconds left, big takedown. If he gets a ride out here, we'll go into the second period 6-1. That's textbook wrestling. Textbook way to win high-level matches. Score at the end of the period. Finish the periods on top.
Unanswered points.
You see that low single. Stemmet tries to go sit the corner, and Stout just does an excellent job of collecting both legs and getting that takedown. His timing has just been very, very good. For a big guy to get on low singles like that is really impressive. But his timing, he's timing the opponent's step. He's getting to that low single, and he's timing the finish extremely well.
Talk to Max Stout, and he really goes back to his redshirt year and all that he learned. Had such a great training situation. He learned from Nino Bonacorsi, both consistency with who you are as a wrestler and also individually, and the way he wrestled the entire year. It was tough. He stepped on campus, and he said he didn't get a takedown on Bonacorsi until about 3 months into the training. Boy, all that work has paid off this year, and again, he's only a sophomore. 6-1. The escape by Stout ups the ante now to 7-1.
And if you're Stout looking back on that, you'll take that any day of the week. Sacrificing a little bit when you're younger and really just putting yourself into the fire, you know it's going to pay dividends moving forward.
Wrestling family is older brothers Kellen and Luke. Transferred from Pitt to Penn State. He was an NCAA qualifier. Luke hoping to punch his ticket to the NCAAs this year. Wrestling for Princeton. Father Brian wrestled at Clarion. Yet they all acknowledge the younger sister is still the boss of the house.
I'll tell you what, I got 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister, and my sister's the toughest one in the family too, so I can attest to that. Yeah, absolutely.
33 seconds to go in this second period. 7-1 Stout.
Stemmet's starting to pick up his activity a little bit. Really hasn't committed to a shot, though. Stout's been the one engaging in the penetration steps. Stemmet's really going to have to figure out Stout's head-hands defense as we're going into the third period late.
Final few moments, period 2 evaporating away, and a 7-1 lead for Max Stout. Take a look at what we still have coming up. Pitt will look for another ACC title with Dayton Pitzer, Jimmy Mullen talking about football and wrestling. Those 2 worlds collide for Mullen. Now he's full-time wrestling. It's paid off. We get Ventresca Robinson at 125, Arini McGonigal at 33, Latona Cedeno at 141. And how about we cap off the night with the reigning national champion from Virginia Tech and Caleb Henson.
It's going to be a really exciting match. Him and Lachlan McNeil have never met each other before. McNeil coming up from 141 should be fireworks.
Couple of All-Americans, Henson, the national champion, McNeil coming off a 4th place finish. That's how we close out the night here in Durham.
Now looking at this situation here, this brings me back to my college days. Coaches all across the country always put you in these impossible situations. Hey, you're down by 6 with 2 minutes left. You got to get an escape and go get 2 takedowns to tie it up. And I guarantee you Coach Ayers has put his athlete in this situation. And if you're Stemmet, rely back on those days. I've been here in practice before. I know I have to go get one. I know I can cut him, and I have to go get another one to tie this up and put it into overtime. And if you're Stout, you've been in the same situation. Your coaches tell you, hey, you're up by 5 with 2 minutes left. You got to shut him down.
Situational wrestling. We'll see which one rises to the top here for the final minute 18. Stemmet with some serious hip action right now as Stout driving in off that high C. a stalemate called with 66 seconds to go.
Again, sometimes one of the best ways to neutralize someone coming after you and trying to score a lot is getting to your offense as well and getting to the leg. When they expose themselves, the opportunity presents to get to a leg, it also wastes a lot of time.
Old adage, good defense. What's the best way to defend a good offense? 50 seconds, third period. Max Stout has led from the opening whistle. 7-2 lead for the redshirt sophomore.
You see Stout take that shot, come up to an underhook. This is a great control tie for Stout. Hard for Stemmet to generate any offense when someone has that deep of an underhook.
It's a clock eater. It's a good position for Stout. Still with that underhook firmly applied. Finally, Stemmet able to push away with 20 seconds.
And if you're Stemmet now, you got to go big. You got 15 seconds. You got to try to go upper body, go feet to back. Stout just doing an excellent job of shutdown defense.
Late stall on Stemmet. Stout with 5 seconds to go. One last big move there, attempt by Stemmet, slipped on him, and Max Stout, who grew up only 7 miles away from the Pitt campus. You talk about local talent. He stayed at home and he delivers for the Steel City here in Durham, North Carolina.
An extremely dominant performance by Max Stout, not just in this match, but the entire season. Dominated the ACC and got himself a title.
Back-to-back titles for Pitt.